All mother sentient beings, limitless as the sky, especially those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path to liberation and all-knowingness. May they experience happiness and be separated from suffering. I will in the state of the most perfect and precious Bodhi, all mother sentient beings, as the sky, especially those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path to liberation and all-knowingness. May they experience happiness and be separated from suffering. I will quickly establish them in the state of the most perfect and precious Bodhi, all mother sentient beings, the sky, especially those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path to liberation and all-knowingness. May they experience happiness and be separated from suffering. I will quickly establish them in the state of the most perfect and precious Bodhi. Thus, until I achieve Buddha, I engage in virtuous deeds with body, speech, and mind. Until death, I engage in virtuous deeds. Until this time tomorrow, I engage in virtuous deeds with body, speech, and mind. And then to the refuge section of the 4 sessions Guru Yoga, starting on page 2. All mother sentient beings, limitless as the sky, take refuge in you, precious Guru Buddha. We supplicate you, Dharma Lord Buddha, protector of wandering beings. We take refuge in you, Guru, clear like dharmakaya. We supplicate you, Dharma Lord Buddha, protector of wandering beings. We take refuge in you, Guru, perfect sambhogakaya. We supplicate you, Dharma Lord Buddha, protector of wandering beings. We take refuge in you, Guru, compassionate nirmanakaya. We supplicate you, Dharma Lord Buddha, protector of wandering beings. We take refuge in you, Guru, the actuality of the 4 kayas. We supplicate you, Dharma Lord Buddha, protector of wandering beings, all mother sentient beings. As the sky, take refuge in you, precious Guru Buddha. We supplicate you, Dharma Lord Buddha, protector of wandering beings. We take refuge in you, Guru, clear like dharmakaya. We supplicate you, Dharma Lord Buddha, protector of wandering beings. We take refuge in you, Guru, perfect sambhogakaya. We supplicate you, Dharma Lord Buddha, protector of wandering beings. We take refuge in you, Guru, compassionate nirmanakaya. We supplicate you, Dharma Lord Buddha, protector of wandering beings. We take Guru, the actuality of the 4 kayas. We supplicate you, Dharma Lord Buddha, protector of wandering beings, all mother sentient beings. Limitless as the sky, take refuge in you, precious Guru Buddha. We supplicate you, Dharma Lord Buddha, protector of wandering beings. We take refuge in you, clear like dharmakaya. We supplicate you, protector of wandering beings, we take refuge in you, Guru, perfect sambhogakaya. We supplicate you, Dharma Lord Buddha, protector of wandering beings. We take refuge in you, Guru, compassionate nirmanakaya. We supplicate you, Dharma Lord Buddha, protector of wandering beings. We take refuge, Guru, the actuality of the four kayas, we supplicate you, Dharma Lord Buddha, protector of wandering beings. May all mother sentient beings, limitless as the sky, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be liberated from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they never be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from the bias of attachment and aversion. May all mother sentient beings, limitless as the sky, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be liberated from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they never be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from the attachment and aversion. May all mother sentient beings, limitless as the sky, have happiness and the causes of happiness. Liberated from suffering and the causes of suffering, may they never be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from the bias of attachment and aversion. In the state of emptiness, the non-referential nature of all phenomena, on the seat of a lotus, sun, moon, and corpse, one's mind as a brilliant red bomb turns into Vajra Yogini, red complexion, radiating with empty bliss, wrathful in demeanor, with three eyes gazing towards the sky. Right hand with a katri, left holding a blood-filled kapala. Her mouth is slightly open, tongue curled back and making the sound pem, and protruding from the right of her face of a black sow. She is in the form of a 16-year-old with breasts swelling with bliss, adorned with the five bone ornaments and wearing garlands of flowers and heads. Joyfully her right hand holds aloft a Vajrakarti, and pointing towards the sky, and her left hand holds a blood-filled kapala directly in front of her navel center, and held under her arm is glorious Heruka in the form of a katanga, dancing with her left leg standing upright and right bent, arisen within swelling red lights of empty bliss. Then above her head in an expanse of 5-colored rainbow lights on a jewel throne supported by lions, elephants, horses, peacocks, and garudas in the center of a lotus free from the faults of samsara, and on the sun and moon that eliminate the sufferings of cold and heat, the exalted mind of sovereign Vajradhara with the 7 attributes, the totality of the exalted speech of the dharma of emptiness, of the perfection of wisdom, the exalted body of the perfect Buddhas possessing the 10 powers is Jigt and Sumgun, embodiment of the 3 jewels, Lord of the teachings, victorious Rinchen, presence of the dharmakaya, pleasing to those trainable, sambhogakaya, blazing with the splendor of the major and minor marks, and nirmanakaya, glowing with reddish white light. Lord of the teachings, wearing the 3 dharma robes, a sleeveless shirt with the 7 noble riches, a meditation hat symbolizing ceaseless empowerment, and a golden skirt of the complete 9 vehicles, right hand subduing the hordes of maras, by left in the mudra of the samadhi of immovable meditative equipoise. He sits in the vajra posture, free from the extremes of samsara and nirvana. To his right and left are thrones, and on seats of lotus and moon are Avalokita in person, the Bodhisattva himself. Kunjoratna dressed as a bhikshu, holding a crystal mala and a stalk of lotus with his 2 hands. To the left is Jogi Drakpa in the form of a bhikshu with the 3 robes, Manjushri Saraha in person, holding a vajra and bell and a axe and sword on lotuses. Both of them are wearing the meditation hat symbolizing changelessness. They are like reflections of the one moon dancing on many waters. They are accompanied by the 85 accomplished masters of India and by an ocean of Kagyusiddhas of Tibet, gathered in the main and intermediate directions like immeasurable clouds. With Jah, the hook of faith draws in the wisdom beings from the expanse with whom they arrive, with the kindness that pleases wandering beings with whom they abide, joyfully with limitless compassion, with hope they protect, with the smiles of the tamers of beings. With compassion, please remain here for the sake of wandering beings. I respectfully pay homage with fierce and longing faith of the 3 types to you, the glorious Guru, Lord of the 4 kayas. With my body, speech, and mind, I make offerings of all these established things, outer, inner, and other. The one who offers that which is offered and the act of offering are indivisible in essence. This being so, I make this offering of the great single taste free from elaborations. Grant me the accomplishment of effortlessness. I lay bare the impairments and breakings of the vows of the 3 vehicles and rejoice in your liberating deeds. Please turn the wheel of Dharma in accordance with the capacities of those to be trained, and remain here for as long as samsara has not been emptied. I dedicate the merit accumulated in the 3 times to the welfare of wandering beings. I supplicate you, the dharmakaya, great Vajradhara of the sixth family. I supplicate you, the 85 Indian Mahasiddhas. I supplicate you, Tili Pragya Bhadra. I supplicate you, Naro Jnana Siddhi. I supplicate you, Marpa of Lorda, the translator. I supplicate you, Mila Shepa Dorje. I supplicate you, Tao Shonu of Dakpo. I supplicate you, the 3 Siddhas of Kam. I supplicate you, Dorje Gyalpo of Pagdu. I supplicate you, Jason Dorje Peldang. I supplicate you, Supreme Refuge, Jigten Sungan. I supplicate you, Dharma Lora Nashri. I supplicate you, Kenchen Sutrim Dorje. I supplicate you, Onchen Sonam Drakpa. I supplicate you, Chenga Drakpa Jungne. I supplicate you, Chung O Dorje Dragpa. I supplicate you, Toka Rinchen Senge. I supplicate you, Samche Dragpa Sonam. I supplicate you, Chuni Dorje Rinchen. I supplicate you, Tuku Dorje Gyalpo. I supplicate you, Nani Chuki Gyalpo. I supplicate you, Shenyin Dondru Gyalpo. I supplicate you, Rinchen Pelgi Gyaltsen. I supplicate you, Chogyal Rinchen Pelzang. I supplicate you, Rigzin Choki Gyatso. I supplicate you, Gyalwang Kunga Rinchen. I supplicate you, Jason Rinchen Punso. I supplicate you, Rinchen Nampar Gyalwang. I supplicate you, Penchen Pelgi Gyaltsen. I supplicate you, Chotle Nampar Gyalwang. I supplicate you, Tsungme Chogyal Punso. I supplicate you, Drupchen Tachi Punso. I supplicate you, Jason Konjo Rinchen. I supplicate you, Rigzin Choki Drakpang. I supplicate you, Konjo Trinle Nam Gyao. I supplicate you, Konjo Trinle Sangpo. I supplicate you, Trinle Dundru Chu Gyao. I supplicate you, Konjo Tenzin Drudu. I supplicate you, Tenzin Chugi Nima. I supplicate you, Kyabda Peme Gyao Zen. I supplicate you, Jamyang Juki Gyao Tsen. I supplicate you, Duwang Juki Gyao Tsen. I supplicate you, Rinchen Tempe Again. I supplicate you, Gyawang Tuje Nima. I supplicate you, Rigzin Nuden Dorje. I supplicate you, Jason Chuki Lodrom. I supplicate you, Gyaucho Shive Lordo. I supplicate you, Jason Dharmakara. I supplicate you, Trisa Tenzin Tum Ten. I supplicate you, the dark Bokaju, protectors of wandering beings. I supplicate you, my kind rude Guru. Look upon me from afar with eyes of compassion, reckless and mundane, although I meditate on the rarity of the freedoms and endowments. I still squander away my life. Look upon me from afar with eyes of compassion, reckless and mundane, although I meditate on impermanence and death. I still fixate on composite phenomena as permanent. Look upon me from afar with passion, reckless and mundane, although I meditate on the unmistaken nature of cause and effect. I still pervert what to adopt and what to abandon. Look upon me from afar with eyes of compassion. Reckless and mundane, although I meditate on the sufferings of cyclic existence, I still take the way to the lower realms. Look upon me from afar with eyes of compassion. Reckless and mundane, although I safeguard the vows of individual liberation, I still lack renunciation and the determination to be free. Look upon me from afar with eyes of compassion, reckless and mundane, although I meditate on all wandering beings as my parents. I still have biased attachment to friends and aversion for enemies. Look upon me from afar with eyes of compassion, reckless and mundane, although I cultivate I still hold on to envy and enmity. Look upon me from afar with eyes of compassion, reckless and mundane. Cultivate aspiration and action, bodhicitta. I still focus only on my own welfare. Look upon me from afar with eyes of compassion, reckless and mundane, although I meditate on my body as the deity's exalted form. I still cling to ordinary perception. Look upon me from afar with eyes of compassion, reckless and mundane, although I have counted the mantras to be recited. I still waste away my life force. Look upon me from afar with eyes of compassion, reckless and mundane, although I cultivate the samadhi of moon in the water. I still solidify things as real and substantial. Look upon me from afar with eyes of compassion, reckless and mundane, although I conclude by dissolving in the subsequent stage. I still purify and confess superficially. Look upon me from afar with eyes of compassion, reckless and mundane, although I meditate on my own mind as free from elaborations. I still have conceptual attitudes. Look upon me from afar with eyes of compassion, reckless and mundane, although I cultivate, not grasping at whatever arises. I still affix an artificial watchfulness. Look upon me from afar with eyes of compassion, reckless and mundane, although I meditate on resting freely in the natural state. I still amplify artificialities. Look upon me from afar with eyes of compassion, reckless and mundane, although I meditate on unity beyond conceptions. I still get carried away by the masses of likes and dislikes. Look upon me from afar with eyes of compassion, reckless and mundane, I supplicate you who are my refuge and protector in this and all other lives, physician who removes the chronic diseases of samsara, hero who vanquishes the enemies that are afflictive emotions, sun which dispels the darkness of ignorance, moon that protects from the heat of suffering, jewel which fulfills all our needs and desires. You Guru, who are all-inclusive and all-sufficient, I supplicate you from the depths of my heart. With compassion, swiftly heed me, effortlessly bestow your blessings. Grant me now and on this seat the naturally accomplished feast of the two benefits. I am endowed with both merit and devotion. Do not leave my hopes unfulfilled. Don't cast away my devotion in vain. Don't let my supplications vanish unanswered. Don't be indifferent with your compassion. Refuge and protector in this life, in the intermediate state and beyond. Whatever occurs, joy or sorrow, good or bad, only you are my hope. Look upon me with eyes of compassion. You alone are my hope. I supplicate you, supreme refuge, Jigten Sumgun. I supplicate you, compassionate Garwang Konjorana. I supplicate you, gentle protector, Gyuntrun Dhammakirti. I supplicate you, supreme refuge, Jigten Sumgun. I supplicate you, compassionate Garwang Konjorana. I supplicate you, gentle protector, Gyutrun Dharmakirti. I supplicate you, supreme refuge, Jigten Sumgun. I supplicate you, compassionate God, Wangkon Choranam. I supplicate you, gentle protector, Gyutrun Dhammakirti. I supplicate you, supreme refuge, Jigten Sumgun. I supplicate you, compassionate God, Wangkon Choranam. I supplicate you, gentle protector, Gyuntrun Dharmakirti. I supplicate you, supreme Jigten Sumgun. I supplicate you, compassionate Garwang Konjorana. I supplicate you, gentle protector, Gyuntrun Dhammakirti. I supplicate you, supreme refuge, Jigten Sumgun. I supplicate you, compassionate Garwang Konjorana. I supplicate you, gentle protector, Gyutrun Dhammakirti. I supplicate you, supreme refuge, Jigten Sumgun. I supplicate you, compassionate Garwang Konjorana. I supplicate you, gentle protector, Gyuntrun Dhammakirti. I supplicate you, supreme refuge, Jigten Sumgun. I supplicate you, compassionate Garwang Konjorana. I supplicate you, gentle protector, Gyutrun Dhammakirti. From this life onward until awakening is reached, other than the three of you, you victors, fathers and sons, I have no other hope. Don't lose your compassion and give up on me. As there are none like you, kings, you victors, fathers and sons, you are all that I need. My only hope and reliance, I supplicate you with fierce and strong devotion. From the utmost depths of my heart, without delay or indifference, look upon me with your eyes of primordial wisdom. After this life, while I am in the intermediate state, draw me out with your hook of primordial wisdom and compassion. Please silently read through the next section from page 33. until page 40. And then we begin together on page 41. Thus are these three victors, fathers and sons, the gathering and embodiment of the ocean of Kagyu Gurus and Siddhas and all Idams, Dakinis and Dharmapalas with wisdom, knowledge, loving compassion, exalted activities and protective powers. By your blessings, bless me and all sentient beings so that our minds turn to the Dharma. Bless us so that Dharma turns into the Dharma. Bless us so that the Dharma enters the path. Bless us so that the path clears confusion. Bless us so that confusion dawns as wisdom. Bless us so that all our karmic and afflictive obscurations and our cognitive obscurations and habitual obscurations are cleared away. Bless us so that they are cleared on this seat. Bless us so that they are cleared in this session. Bless us so that our mind streams are cleansed. Bless us so that our mind streams are fully liberated. Bless us so that we are liberated now. Bless us so that we are liberated on this seat. Bless us so that we are liberated in this session. Bless us so that the supreme samadhi arises unmistakably in our mind streams. Bless us so that it arises now. Bless us so that it arises on this seat. Bless us so that it arises in this session. Bless us so that the unmistaken supreme primordial wisdom arises in our mind streams. Bless us so that it arises now. Bless us so that it arises on this seat. Bless us so that it arises in this session. Hear, O sublime, glorious Guru, from your forehead center, white lights emanate, dissolving into my forehead, immediately fully cleansing my body and my waking state of their obscurations, and planting the seed for the nirmanakaya, the exalted body, Vajra. Guru's exalted body and my body are inseparable. This is the indestructible appearance as emptiness. Kaya Siddhi. Hear, O sublime, glorious Guru, from your throat center, red lights emanate, dissolving into my throat, immediately fully cleansing my speech and my dream state of their obscurations, and planting the seed for the sambhogakaya, the exalted speech, Vajra. The Guru's exalted speech and my speech are inseparable. This is the indestructible sound, emptiness, Kai Vaka Siddhi. Hear, O sublime, glorious Guru, from your heart center, blue lights emanate, dissolving into my heart immediately, fully cleansing my mind and my deep sleep state of their obscurations, and planting the seed for the dharmakaya. The exalted heart Vajra, the Guru's heart, and my mind are inseparable. This is the indestructible clarity, emptiness, Chitta Siddhi. Hear, O sublime, glorious Guru, from your navel center, golden lights emanate, dissolving into my navel, immediately fully cleansing my equipoise mind, and the moment of transition of their obscurations, having ripened the swabhavikakaya, the three primordial wisdom vajras, and my body, speech, and mind are inseparable. This is the indestructible bliss, emptiness, sarva siddhi. Here the retinue dissolves like breath on a mirror disappearing. The glorious Guru's exalted body dissolves and furthermore turns into beautiful masses of five colored lights, resplendent like 100,000 suns. These lights resolve into oneself immediately. You are blazing in various colors of light. Bright lights and rainbows fill the 3,000-fold universes. This is the indivisible unity of clarity and emptiness, just as it is primordially free from elaborations. The great middle way, seal and perfection. Don't be confused by the names, their meanings are identical. The indivisible unity of primordial wisdom. Evam Maya Alala Ho. by the virtues collected in the 3 times by me in the entirety of samsara and nirvana, may I and all sentient beings quickly attain the unsurpassed, perfect, complete, precious Bodhi. Good morning and happy Monday. Good evening to those of you who are on the other side of the world. So we have been kind of going through this 4-session Guru Yoga sadhana. And in terms of where we are around, you could say, page 4. Still in that part where we're getting an understanding of basically the principles involved in what's known as the generation stage. So in this Guru Yoga sadhana, many different aspects of meditation, such as deity yoga, in its generation stage and completion stage, it's in there. Then, of course, the preliminaries are in there, the conclusion is in there. Then the main topic or the main cultivation of Guru Yoga is at the center of this sadhana. Again, this topic of Guru and devotion to Guru, especially in the Kagyupa, it's a big topic. It covers a lot of ground. And not all, but what I keep wanting to say is, for most of us right now, it's best not to rush into thinking Guru is a specific person, some human being that I can latch on to. Either because I can latch on to, either because they are very available. Some of us have kind of imagined like, oh, my Guru is this famous person, that famous person. Then after a while, we find that, okay, I'm not going anywhere with this. Then we might, then go the direction of like whoever I can catch, that seems good enough, fair enough, then you think, oh, this is my Guru. Or if we are still thinking, oh, this famous, seemingly amazing Lama or teacher or whatever, seemingly because it's all the internet and the social media, I'm not saying they're not, but effectively it's still a product of that. Then you think, oh, this is my guru. And then you hear, oh, guru is really important. And then devotion to the guru, really important. But in the Kagyupa training, this topic of guru and guru devotion is a really big topic. Covers a lot of ground. Ultimately, it says, guru is dharmakaya. Guru is dharmakaya. Dharmakaya means, the dharma reality of all phenomena is guru. So, yeah, covers a lot of ground, So, what I want to share, is my own experience in terms of how people whom now I consider and can kind of naturally relate to. I think that's the key point. After a period of time, naturally relate to and see and consider as guru. So what I have learned myself in my own experience with these individuals and how they have guided me and how naturally this process is, I can say that especially when we still don't know exactly what this topic means. And in some ways, you don't know until it begins to kind of arise in yourself, this genuine experience. Then guru is a principle. And this principle of guidance, the principle of inspiration. And so in terms of the guidance, right, then we're talking about the wisdom mind of the Buddhists. Because that's the ultimately that's the most reliable guidance we can get, in many texts they will say, you have to think of the person teaching you as the embodiment of all Buddhas. You have to see the person teaching you dharma as the embodiment of all the Buddhas that are presently active and teaching. And you should also see those people who teach you the Dharma as the regent of all the Buddhas of the past. The role of the regent is to kind of hold things in place until the next king comes. You see the people who teach you Dharma as the regent of all the Buddhas of the past. Then they say you should also see these people who teach you Dharma as the crown princes of all the Buddhas of the future, meaning they will become. But what sometimes we don't understand or don't get from such expressions is why. Why? So that the Dharma that we receive, the Dharma that we listen to, isn't treated as isn't treated as just, oh yeah, he's giving me some information. Yeah, I like that. I don't like that. Oh yeah. Oh yes. Oh that sounds, that's pretty good. Of course, initially, it's like that. But the one of the key reasons why you have such things as, the people who teach you Dharma are the Buddhas of the past, present, and future. The purpose is so that you take the Dharma into your heart and you experience. You put the Dharma into place, get them to start working, so to say, and you see the truth of the Dharma yourself. That is the reason I even dare say that in part, that emphasis on seeing the people who teach you Dharma as Buddhas of past, present, and future, and so on and so forth, has to some degree to do with the circumstance of Tibetan culture, Tibetan history, the circumstance in which the great masters that lived in Tibet recognized what Tibetans people need. I mean, really, like, if you look at all the literature written in Tibetan on the importance of viewing people who teach you Dharma as Buddhas, and compare to the amount of such advice in Indian Buddhist texts, Indian Buddhist texts have way less compared to Tibetan. So this is my evidence, so to say it is not absolutely the main point, right? That unless you see the people who teach you Dharma as Buddhas, there's no way to proceed. It is a good way to proceed if it helps you to gain confidence in the Dharma that you are receiving, and to take that into your heart and to start changing your attitude, changing your outlook, and therefore changing your life. And therefore changing your life. Then when you see that truth, right? That is the dharmakaya. Kaya means the form of truth. When you can see the form, the truth of the Dharma that is taught to you directly, that's seeing dharmakaya. Yeah? So jokingly, not jokingly from the person's side, but from the person's side, recently somebody said to me, you know, I'm working on, very sincerely, you know, saying to me, I'm working on seeing you, you know, as the Buddhas, you know, when you teach. And I said, I said, I don't know. I don't know if that's necessary. I said, why don't you work on taking the Dharma that I share with you and seeing the truth of that Dharma? I said, then jokingly, I said, you know, I don't want to have to be constantly behaving myself when I'm around you. I said, I just want to behave myself enough that I am not, you know, harming you or harming me. But more than that, you know, like to have to know that, you know, oh, you're thinking that I'm Buddha, just makes me, you know, really tight, you know. Well, jokingly, there's also truth to that confession. Like, I don't want to have to behave myself all the time. Now, coming back to joking aside, more seriously, take Dharma, you know. Of course, you don't want, you know, it's just, of course, should also say, you know, you should not use your Dharma teachers, use and toss, you know, like everything these days. Then it's also doesn't work, right? Use and toss, you know. That's also kind of indecent, so to say. Just common human decency. So anyway, this topic of Guru Yoga, it's big, especially in Gagyupa. It encompasses a lot of things. So in this practice of Guru Yoga, the 4-session Guru Yoga, and last time I said, you know, 4-session is a way of saying, you know, this should be a regular and constant practice. Just as people in retreat will divide their waking hours into 4 sessions, and the whole day is completely occupied with formal Dharma practice. Likewise, you should practice this Guru Yoga as a constant. So that's kind of a poetic way of calling this 4-session Guru Yoga. Way back, when I'm still learning, still very much a beginner, and when I saw 4-session Guru Yoga, I'm looking in the text, session 1, session 2, session 3, session 4. Wait, where are the 4 again? Where are the 4 again? But 4-session means, this is the Guru Yoga practice that you should do regularly, continuously, so to say. So here in this Guru Yoga, there is the creation and completion stages of deity yoga as part of this Guru Yoga. So in terms of the creation stage, there are then 2 aspects to the creation stage here. First is creating yourself or generating yourself as Vajavarahi, and then also creating or generating the field of refuge, the Guru field of refuge in the space in front of you. We have not yet gone into looking at detailed either of these 2 parts. Still, we are at the part of Still, we are at the part of, in the state of emptiness, the non-referential nature of all phenomena, and what that means and how to cultivate that. I think the last week, Judy said, this non-referential nature of phenomena, I don't know what it means. And so I was just thinking more about that, and if you want, a little bit more to chew on, I gave some answer last week, and the answer remains, I think, valid, what I said. But if you need a little bit more to chew on, on this topic of the non-referential nature of all phenomena, and this is a fancy way of talking about the emptiness nature of all phenomena. And there are so many synonyms, pointing to this point. Yeah? So if you want a little bit more to chew on, there are many books out there. We're so fortunate, we're so lucky. So many books out there now. So many, especially translations of the classical texts. And those are really important. They're not easy to read, but those are really important. Secondarily, how different teachers have digested that classical material and sharing with you, such as what I'm doing now. This offers some ideas, some ways for you to enter, but the classical texts should still kind of be the main point, right? But again, I admit, the classical text not so easy to read. Can often sound very dense, very theoretical or philosophical. And of course, some of us get excited by those things, then yum, right? But then probably most of us are like, oh, I cannot understand what is going on here. Yeah. But there is a book that I think maybe if you want to kind of strengthen, deepen your understanding of these teachings on emptiness, on the non-referential nature of all phenomena. There is a book called, let me pull this, yeah? Nope, wrong name. There is a book called The Sun of Wisdom. The Sun of Wisdom. Teachings on Noble Nagarjuna's Fundamental Wisdom. So it's called The Sun of Wisdom. These are edited transcripts of teachings given by Khenpo Sutrim Gyamso, one of the most erudite teachers of the Kagyu Mahamudra tradition. So it's called The Sun of Wisdom, Teachings on Noble Nagarjuna's Fundamental Wisdom of the Middle Way. A fundamental wisdom of the middle way is Nagarjuna's very famous classical text in Sanskrit, Mula Madhyamika Karika. Mula Madhyamika Karika. So here, Mula Madhyamaka Karika divided into chapters in these like cryptic verses. Very hard to read directly to make sense of what's going on. Then there are plenty of books that not only translate this root text, but also translate commentaries on these root texts. But the way that this book, Sun of Wisdom, goes through Nagarjuna's classical text is much more geared towards what meditators, what people like you and me, who pretend to want to be meditators, can probably get more out of this book than reading the more philosophical oriented ones that are meant more for, debate and mastery of the text. Sun of Wisdom, because it's transcripts of teachings that Khenpo Sutrim Gyamso has given to an audience that is much more interested in understanding Nagarjuna for purposes of helping their meditation, their contemplation, their taking of Dharma into their lives. And so this book may be of interest to some of you. The Sun of Wisdom.
Sun is S-U-N.
Sun, yeah, light. Yeah, so, but it's not the kind of book where, there's a plot, there is a, so you don't like read quickly to see what's coming next, what's coming next. Yeah. In fact, Nagarjuna's wrote text, into different chapters. They're not necessarily progressing in any particular way. Each chapter is pointing to the same point, coming to the same point from many different directions. It says, now let's talk about movement, which is the first chapter. Let's talk about movement, motion. In analyzing how movement takes place, motion takes place, we can gain some insights into what emptiness means, what non-referential nature of phenomena means. And then next chapter, let's analyze, stillness or something like that. Let's analyze, this topic of nirvana. When people talk about nirvana, and so that's Nagarjuna's classical text called the fundamental verses to the middle way. So the Sun of Wisdom, it's a accessible way, and it will help, in our practice. It will help in, when we say, in the state of emptiness, the non-referential nature of all phenomena At that moment, what comes to your mind can be enhanced by reading something like the Sun of Wisdom. But important, as I said, when you're actually seated down to do this sadhana, now is also not the time where you go in the state of emptiness, the non-referential nature of all phenomena, and then you start thinking, oh, emptiness means this, it means this, it means this. So as the book says, it means this, that. There are actually some traditions within Tibetan Buddhism that will take that route. They say when you recite these two lines, you start considering in a very systematic way, how self cannot be found in the body, how self cannot be found in the mind, how self cannot be found in both a combination of body and mind, and how self cannot be found neither. Neither can self be found by getting rid of body and mind. So they go through in a systematic way. Then they meditate on emptiness. Then from within emptiness they arise. But that is not the Kagyupa way, generally speaking. The Kagyupa way is, okay, you want to study, you study over there. Then from the studying, what you should do when you're studying is not just memorizing lists, not just rigidly kind of memorizing step by step, but rather capture the key point. Capture the key point, keep the key point, not only in head but in heart. Then when you do formal practice and you go, and the words tell you, in the state of emptiness, the non-referential nature of all phenomena, the key point appears. This is more, our style, Kagyupa style. So in the nature of emptiness, the non-referential nature of all phenomena. So anyway, by cultivating the creation or the generation stage, it is said that then the form bodies, the rupakayas, which is further divided into sambhogakaya and nirmanakaya, the rupakayas can then be achieved at the point of buddhahood. So then you will manifest rupakayas effortlessly for the benefit of beings. And it says that it's directly related to having cultivated generation stage. Cultivating completion stage then creates the conditions for the attainment of dharmakaya. Dharmakaya. Furthermore, the rupakayas is born from the accumulation of merit. While the dharmakaya is born from the accumulation of wisdom. So that's another way of thinking. And so then, completion stage, from here we can understand completion stage pertains more to the training in wisdom, and creation stage pertains more to the training in merit. Merit, by the way, is another word actually for compassion. Acts of merit don't truly become meritorious unless and until they are powered by, motivated by compassion. Now, although we divide things up this way, also very important to remember, there is no genuine creation stage if the key point in the completion stage is not somewhere there, meaning the wisdom of emptiness is not somewhere there. And there's no genuine cultivation of completion stage if, right, the key point of creation stage is not what's fueling the completion stage. In other words, if compassion is not fueling this wisdom, this so-called wisdom, then it will just remain so-called wisdom. Intellectual and dry. It's not hit the heart. So when we say in the state of emptiness, then arises blah, 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 blah. All those other, the rest of the creation stage that comes, right? So here it's therefore crucial to remember, to know, when it says in the state of emptiness, or sometimes translated as from the state of emptiness, and sometimes translated of out of emptiness, right? So however we translate it, out of emptiness, in the state of emptiness, from emptiness, arising from emptiness, right? What all that, however you translate that, and so translation is always like, oh, maybe this should be changed this way, maybe this should be changed that way, But however you translate this, you should not think like this, you should not think of it like, okay, emptiness is like this bowl, yeah. And then when it says from emptiness arises, arises, I don't know, this coil of wire. From emptiness arises, but it's not like this, Okay, now the wire that has arisen out of emptiness, then emptiness is over here, then wire is hanging out over here. Yeah, not that kind of from emptiness arises the wire. More like the ocean and the waves. Waves arise from the ocean, but waves are never apart from the ocean. So the creation stage details, all of it, arising out of emptiness, or here translated as in the state of emptiness. So maybe I think this translation less prone to giving the wrong understanding of from within emptiness arises emptiness. This have run away from emptiness. It's become form. But rather, the relationship is more like waves arising from the ocean due to winds stirring, right? Then waves arise. And the currents from the ocean and combining with the winds blowing in a particular way, then waves arise, right? And this analogy works really well. Why? Because what are the winds? Winds are the winds of compassion, churning, blowing. The undercurrents are the innate movement of compassion. The winds are like the external, the temporary arising, the one that you generate, the compassion that you generate. Then waves arise. So then from here, Vajavarahi arise. Momentarily, temporarily appear. Yes, Judy.
So it's like emptiness is always there, but the cause and effect relationship is what puts whatever is there there.
Correct. Emptiness is always there, but we then be careful not to make emptiness into a thing. Emptiness is always in relation to form.
Condition.
Yeah. It's reliant on there being form. There's no emptiness to talk about separate from appearance. So we are also not saying one is prior to the other. So interestingly, yeah. Like emptiness is more basic. We're also not saying that. And you're like, wait, doesn't it say that? No. And you're like, how? Don't worry about it now.
One depends on the other. One depends on the other.
Mm-hmm.
Is that like the Heart Sutra? Form is
Yeah,
empty.
yeah,
That same idea.
But there's a tendency to think, emptiness is more basic because of the way some sutras or tantras or texts might sound like that, but it's not, Yeah, why is it not? Why do we say it is not? Because to prevent the error of nihilism. Then we have to remind ourselves. We're not saying emptiness is more basic of the two. So this interplay, right, of the two. So the so elsewhere, elsewhere, it is said that another perspective, right? So what is who or what is actually Vajavarahi? Vajavarahi is none other than the embodiment of bodhicitta. And so remember how I said the preliminaries are not just things to get out of the way so that you can get to the main thing. But in fact, the preliminaries are in fact the main point. Then the main point elaborated becomes becomes what now we call the main practice, and then dedication. Right? I talked about that last week. So now, when we get to in the state of emptiness, the non-referential nature of all phenomena, on the seat of lotus, sun, moon, corpse, one's mind as a brilliant red bomb turns into Vajrayogini. So there we have to understand. Who is this Vajrayogini? It's my own mind, yes. But what kind of my own mind are we talking about? Not the confused mind, but rather the bodhicitta that I meditated on at the beginning. The two bodhicitta having those two aspects, the relative aspect, the ultimate aspect. Now that bodhicitta arises as Vajavarahi, Vajrayogini. Kelvin, go ahead.
Loponla, what is the difference between the Vajrayogini and Vajravarahi? Thank you,
Uh,
Lopo.
Here, no difference. I mean, they are synonyms. Yeah, no difference. They are just synonyms. There are various different forms of this deity. You know, some standing like this, some standing like that. You know, some standing facing front, some standing facing sidewards. But the particular form that we have here often is called Vajravarahi, because Varahi is the female boar. And so this is referencing how in this form she has two faces, the human face and the face of a boar coming out from the right side. Yeah. Ivan, happy belated birthday.
Thank you. Thank you, Lupin.
Yeah.
I have a question about visualizing Vajrabrahi. Um, she is in the dancing, right?
We're not there yet, you know?
Oh, we're not there yet. Okay. Well, I had another question too. At the start, you told us you were gonna talk a little bit more in detail about your relationship with the people you consider gurus. If
No, I didn't say I was going to talk
oh
more. I just said.
oh okay.
But anyway, what's the question there?
Oh, it's just that I'm really interested in knowing more about that. But
Oh,
maybe it's
no, we don't talk more.
oh okay, okay,
These are private matters, as they say.
okay. Yeah, it's just I think it's interesting. So thank
Yeah, so I only share whatever I think, is appropriate to share. Not that there are any big secrets at all. In a way, it's like, it's very mundane. It's just boring, you know? So I've already distilled the essential points that I think is useful to share with you, which is to say, my own teachers never, they're or individuals that now I have come to relate to as teachers, as guru, in this sense of guru, they never, you know, they never say to me or hint to me, oh, I should look at them as Buddhas, or, you know. In fact, routinely they will point elsewhere. They also won't point to other people. They're very careful. They will always point to Buddha Shakyamuni, point to Milarepa, point to Kyoba Jigten Sumben. And as I said, you know, in pointing me in that direction, then over time, slowly, as I gain confidence in the Dharma, I also begin to gain confidence in them. Then as I gain more confidence in them, I gain more confidence in the Dharma. And as I gain more confidence in the Dharma, I gain more confidence in them. So it has to be kind of in tandem like this. That's all, you know. There's no more exciting things to say beyond that, you know. Last week we also looked at how it says then a little bit more kind of like the principle behind this generation stage is that it's also talking about how our the what the parts that constitute this, person, this body mind, known as the five aggregates, that the nature of the five aggregates are the five female Buddhas. And or the five Buddhas, sorry. And then the five elements, the physical elements. The nature of the five physical elements. So nature and appearance, a difference is made. In the nature of the elements are the five Buddhas, female. And the nature of the five aggregates are the five Buddhas, male. So that there are more ways, this is just in very general, to further divide this into all the different constituting parts, such as the six senses, the sixth sense perception, and the sixth sense objects. Now they say the nature of these are the 12 male and female bodhisattvas. The 12 males and female bodhisattvas. So while you can, go learn and memorize all the lists and all the correspondences, like, the sight is this bodhisattva. What sight consciousness sees, meaning colors and forms, is that bodhisattva. Nose, as in nose, like, the power to smell, is this bodhisattva. The smells that we smell is that female bodhisattva. So while there are lists, you can go learn and become more and more proficient in recognizing, which sense is which bodhisattva and which sense object is which female bodhisattva. But I'll say, I think in Gagyupa style, we don't emphasize so much this kind of memorizing what's what. Again, the key point of that, we grasp, which is all of this currently experienced as a skin bag with undesirable things oozing out, that its nature is the mandala of Buddhas, the divine palace of Buddhas. So that all aspects of this burdensome body and mind is actually a divine mandala with Buddhas. That means no need to go to beauty salon anymore. That means, temporarily, like, experiencing the arising of the elements, getting a little disturbed, then the arising of, stuffy nose, leaky nose, too much phlegm. You don't stress over that anymore, It's like temporary appearances. Its nature is the divine mandala of Buddhas. So catch, grasp, so to say, the key point and practice that key point. Okay, we meet again tomorrow morning. If everyone wakes up as they plan to wake up again, then we meet again tomorrow morning for this. And let's close with the bodhicitta dedication. Changchu sem cho rinpoche. Ma ge banam ge gyurche. Ge ba nyam ba me ba yang. Gong ne gong du Bill Shu. Ta-ta, everyone.
Thank you, Lopana.
Thank you, Dr. Lopon. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Lai.
Gracias, Dr. Lai.
Gracias.